So, welcome to Boxing Media Hub, and yeah, I've got a special guest with me. She's coming on. She's not coming on. She's coming on. She's got training. She's now found a swirly chair. She's happy. Yeah,
I know, I'm
Roha
so
Hudson.
sorry. I was meant to be on yesterday. I'm so sorry for that one
No,
night.
don't worry about it. Don't worry. You just
Don't
wanted
worry.
to push off this to look the part. I get it. I get it. How's things? You all right?
Yeah, so good. Amazing, actually. So happy. Glad to be in the gym in full fight camp. Yeah. High
Good, good.
spirits.
And then we've obviously
Christmas
got
around
the
the corner.
yeah, next step coming up. But before we get into that, we don't want to jump the gun. How did it all start? When did you first
How?
put on a pair of gloves?
What a
Because you're
great
only young,
question.
so
I was young. I was 14 when I first walked into a boxing gym. I was a big footballer. I love saying that I love saying that in these. I was a big footballer. I played the last game I played. I represented the county, and we actually represented like England something against Australia, which was really cool at St George's Park. So I was a big footballer, big runner, ran cross country for the Black Country, and then I moved to Shropshire and I soon realised there's absolutely nothing here, especially for female sports, especially for group sports, and everything's just a field. And when you've come from a big city, it was just a shock to the system. So I had to find a new sport because there wasn't a lot here. So I went into a boxing gym. Didn't intend for it to be anything like it is now. It was just
mhm,
extra fitness. If anything, I just moved to Shrewsbury and I wanted a bit of a social aspect as well. I was a
yeah.
very a sociable person growing up, and I just liked being around people in a group exercise. And yeah, I was 14. How old am I
And let's
now?
be honest, the gym
18.
literally offers you everything, doesn't it? It literally the social element. There's no better fitness than
It's
boxing, in
just,
my
it's
opinion.
incredible.
Yeah, it canes you, absolutely canes you, but it's the
Mhm.
best feeling afterwards as well. A feeling that
The
you've
best.
really achieved. And so, yeah, where did we go from there? Because obviously we hit the boxing scene. We then ended up loving it. Where did it go from there? Because obviously I know that there's more to this. So
Yeah.
come on, give it to us.
So I had, honest to God, right, as we go through this today, you're going to realise how unlucky I am in the boxing scene. Like, it's actually a joke. So, for the first 3 years, I didn't actually fight. I was with a couple of clubs, absolutely amazing clubs, great clubs. But because I think I was more into, I was in college and stuff, I was taking it seriously myself. There was nothing more I wanted than to fight after about a year in. And I went to a couple of different clubs in Shrewsbury, and I found myself being really unlucky. Got on with the coaches well, really well, but they just weren't. I wasn't getting enough sparring. I wasn't getting offered fights, and like personally, I knew I was ready. Like I felt ready to fight. Um, I don't know whether it's because I was such a cocky kid. Maybe that stopped me. But in the one gym, the daughter of the coach was sort of the star of the show. She was absolutely great boxer. I love that. But maybe it just made me have a bit of a step back. So I ended up going to a white collar gym because I just wanted to fight. I knew I could fight. I wanted to get there basically. So I went to white collar first. My first 3 fights were in white collar. 2 fights, sorry, were in white collar, in Shrewsbury before I had my little boy. So I won them, and then I've now got a 5-year-old. Uh,
We
5-year-old, yeah, yeah, cutie, yeah, yeah. So then I got pregnant, had him, and then I walked into an amateur boxing gym for the first time when I was 21. Nearly fell off the chair.
nearly,
21.
nearly.
21. And that's when I first come onto the amateur scene. Best thing I ever did. Ever. My white collar, I will add, white collar gym was really cool. I only had 2 fights with them, but it was so cool. But I moved to Telford. And luckily, that was the best luck I had in boxing. Fell into the amateurs. Amazing gym. In the same gym that I'm at now, it's Wellington Boxing Academy. Got introduced to my head coach, who is Mo Fiaz. Absolutely incredible coach. We get on like a house on fire. Absolute legend. So I started boxing for them. Had 5 amateurs. Won them all unanimous decision. And then we went into lockdown. Obviously, the whole nation went into lockdown. So we had what, 2 years out there, didn't we? A
Yeah.
year and a half, 2 years out. Now, during lockdown, I felt really poorly with COVID, which was a joke, right at the end as well. Really poorly with COVID. I was in hospital for a number of weeks, had pneumonia, got diagnosed with essential tremors. I'm not very shaky today, but normally I'm like this. Essential tremors, neurological dysfunction, and a few things. So a few little setbacks.
I love how you
Pneumonia
say
was.
a few little setbacks. That sounded pretty awful, to be perfectly
It
honest.
was,
I'm not going to lie.
at the time,
I
it
think
was.
you're making it sound all rosy when it was horrific. Let's be honest.
It
You
was.
went through hell at that time, and
Honestly, like in the hospital, because it was like touch and go. There were people dying around me in my ward. It was just it was a crazy time. I was only 20. I was 23 at the time.
you think we had nothing like this before. You know, this
Nothing
was
ever. At the
the
time, I
first
was
time the
working.
world shut down.
Honestly, it was mental. Like at the time, I was working at Nuffield Health as a personal trainer, and I was running a group with my best friend, and we used to go up the Wrekin. I don't know if you heard of the Wrekin.
No, no, no.
It's a big hill around here. We were doing that at 5:30 every morning. I was in my fittest form ever. I was peak fitness. It was the best. And when I got told, I was literally half dead on my sofa. Day 6, phone had been dead for a couple of days. Didn't drink. Lips were bright blue. Got rushed into hospital. And when I got there, I laughed. I was like, "There's no way. There's no way. Like, COVID's a joke." Like, I had the same view as everybody else. Is it real? Is it not?
Yeah, yeah,
Didn't honestly laughed. And then when they showed me that scan, the doctor, he actually went to Nuffield, so he showed me the scan of my lungs, and it was saturated. They were saturated. It was so bad. And then they said, "You ain't going home. Like, you're going to be here for weeks." And at that point, it really hit me because you obviously I was 23, thought it was all a joke, didn't take any notice of it, and then you've heard on the news of everyone dying, and all of a sudden you're not laughing. I wasn't laughing.
yeah.
I remember calling my best friend and just like crying, and I'm not a crier. It was a horrible time. I'm not gonna lie, it was a horrible time. And then a couple of weeks into the hospital, I noticed my legs were gone. My legs, I couldn't feel them. So what's going on? So I said to the doctor, I goes, I can't feel my legs. And they were like, it's just muscle wastage because you're so sporty. And I went, all right, all right. But I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't. And I was shaking loads. I got told that was from the nebulizers. So you just pass it off. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, you just listen to what you're told, don't you?
Exactly. And the whole time you're there, you can't have a shower, you can't stand up anyway because you're strapped to oxygen. And when you take that off, you're on oxygen tanks. Like you can't move, you're wheelchaired everywhere anyway. So I would never have known. And then I ended up discharging myself because of the bleeping noises on the machine. Could not sleep. It was an absolute nightmare. Hated it. Went home. They said be bedbound for a couple of weeks. I said, what about my legs? And I said, I can't walk. I couldn't stand up at this point. And they said, no, no, no. You'll get it back. It'll be fine. It's probably the COVID. They didn't know a lot about it. Fair play. They didn't know anything about COVID. A couple of weeks later, can't walk. Call the hospital. I'm like, there's something wrong here. Can't feel my legs still. Couldn't stand up. Was literally moving around from sofa to sofa, crawling across the floor. Anyway, I ended up having physio. At the first physio appointment, they said you might not be walking for 9 to 12 months. Fuck it was crazy to look back on. Then they gave me Zimmer frames. I've still got the video of when they brought me over a Zimmer frame. I was like, I'm not going on that. I'm only free. You can't give me that. I was on crutches and I didn't know how long it would be for. Anyway, after 4 weeks, I was fine. I was walking. I was back training. Absolutely fine. I thought, nah, like this can't get to me. Anyway, it worked. It was fine. Always had shakes, always shaky, but that was fine as long as I could feel my legs. Anyway, going forward, won the nationals. Next fight, I won the nationals, and then I won my next couple of fights, and then my legs went again. So just as I was I just the week before got invited down to the England camp. One of the women coaches come and watch my last couple of fights. After my last amateur, she come over, approached, and we said we want Roha to come to the training. I was like, oh mint. So me and my coach. 2 weeks later, my legs go again. Couldn't walk again. So I had to I had to cancel the senior nationals, had to cancel them, had to cancel this England camp. Said that I would go when I got better, but we didn't know when it was. Anyway, I've now had a year and a half out of my training due to pull-outs after I got better, due to all this illness. But here we are, I turned professional, and that's the reason I turned professional. I'm 25, actually I'm 26, just turned. I've had too much time out, and I know that I can be a big name, and I just want it to happen now rather than waiting for anything else to happen in this crazy, crazy world.
Well, and to be fair, you're crashing onto the scene at the right time. Let's be perfectly
Yeah.
honest, because maybe it wasn't the right time then, and we look at it now. We're just coming off the back of Cameron Taylor 2. The buzz around women's boxing, should we say, boxing in general, but women's boxing at the moment,
It's mental, isn't it? You got
it's
Fran
on an
Hennessy
absolute high.
absolutely tearing it up.
Yeah, it's
Some big
they're
names.
making the name, aren't they? They're making
Yeah.
the name for themselves, and they're holding their own. And yeah, now's the time.
It's
And
great. I'm a very spiritual, religious person, and what's written is written, and that's what I said the whole time. Like, there was a reason all that was happening. I'm so strong at the minute, so fit. So we've come into it at the perfect time, just like you said.
yeah,
Very exciting time.
definitely. So February 2024, we finally,
I know.
she gets
It's
to
such
walk
a
out in
word.
front of everyone. She gets to use up all that
Oh.
energy that she can't
You
sit
want?
still with.
Honestly, you want to hear the next lot of bad luck? So I got given this fight date like maybe 2, 3 weeks ago on the Friday. 2 weeks ago. On the Monday, my boxing gym floods. The boxing gym is currently closed. It's been closed now, going into the 3rd week because all the pipes burst, the boiler went. So now I'm actually training out of a completely different gym using the bags because my boxing gym's shut. So as I get my first fight date in a year and a half, see you later to the training.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
I'll get there. I'm still training. I'm still here. I'm putting the work in. This is session 3 of today. So it can't be that bad.
You've got it. You've got it. So honestly, as I say, I like how you sort of crept in that you won, you know, the national, and amongst all that, you know, this only
In the
makes you
middle.
stronger. This only
Yeah.
makes you stronger, and it makes you more hungry, doesn't it? And
Honestly, the
that's what it's
passion
about.
that went into that fight, it was the best I've ever fought. The best I've ever fought that fight was. And I remember, like, after I won it, oh my God, I screamed at the camera
Roa,
because
it's the best to date. It's the
it's
best
yeah,
to date.
today, exactly. There's
The
a lot
best is
better
yet
that
to
could
come.
come. So true.
100%.
So
Yeah,
true.
yeah. Honestly, I wish you all the best, and I know that you know you've had your struggles and you've had your trials and stuff like that. And do you know what? As I say, it just paints the story
Mhm.
for what you bring to the table. It makes you an individual. There's not going to be another rower.
Yeah.
There's only you that can bring that, and also it's a selling point. It's a
Oh,
major selling point.
100%.
People are going to go. Do you know what? I can relate to that.
There's no excuses. Like, people come along and, like, you can be the single mother, you can have the hard background, but when something like this happens, which is a bit extraordinary, we all went into the lockdown, all come out of it, it will make a great story, and it has definitely um improved my passion for the sport and how far I want to take it and how far I want to go. So if anything, I say this all the time. People are like, honest to God, if anything, it is luck. It's so lucky that I've gone through all of this because I can say the story and it's just given me that hunger now to drive even further. It is lucky. I'm very blessed for what has happened and to come
Yeah,
out the other
yeah,
side. Woo!
definitely. Well, who's your go-to fighter at the moment? Before we go, who's your go-to fighter that you love to watch?
People hate it when I say this. And honestly, hand on heart, hardly follow any boxing. And the reason behind that is, first of all, I don't even watch any TV or anything like that. I'm constantly moving. I'm constantly, hence why the chair keeps going. I'm so sorry. But when I watch boxing too much, it
Yeah,
gets in my head. And I'll watch these boxers and then I'll go into training that night and I'll try and imitate what they've done.
right.
Or I'll be
I
like,
get that.
why are they doing that? How can they do that? I don't look that good because of these angle shots and stuff. Honestly, my head, it all gets into my head and I start not putting myself down, but then I'll try and come at training at a different angle. Now I've got my own style. I fight on the back foot, I go backwards. I've got a very unique style and I don't need to change that. And when I
You
watch
got to
too
be
much
you.
boxing,
You've got to
when I
be
watch
you.
too much, honestly, especially the girls, because I love watching them and they're like idols. I love it, but especially watching like Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall. Oh my God, I love it. But I try to steer away from it because I do try and implement what they're doing into my own training. I can't do that. The
But
person I will
that could
watch,
come with time, couldn't it? If you build
exactly.
if you build a base of rower, as we say. Like you're going to build your own base. You're going to build up
Yeah.
from it, and then over time, you pick up those different techniques that you
Yeah,
add into what
exactly.
you already have.
Yeah,
You know,
I just need to take my boxing further. Know that I'm obviously get
yeah,
that confidence in myself, get the few
yeah,
fights in, get some wins, and then I realised, you know what I mean? I don't need to copy these actually because I'm on their level now. You know what I mean? In time, but
yeah.
exactly as you just said it. The one boxer I do watch, which obviously is Fury. Um, Always puts a good fight. I just love how humble he is, how funny he is, how much of a family man he is, and that's the reason I watch him. Don't miss his fights. It's just class entertainment to watch, really, I
So
suppose. And it's just so humble.
you've walked into it now. So Fury Usyk, same month as your fight. What's going to happen?
I mean, everyone thinks
You
Ngannou
know
won the
what?
last
That's the
one.
quietest you've been the whole interview.
That's a hard question. I mean, I'm backing Fury. I'm backing him. I think he had a really rough fight on the last one. I don't think he was himself, and people are just cussing him straight away, like trying to cancel him. We've all had a bad day at work. We've all had a bad time in the ring. Ngannou was a strong fighter. I hope it doesn't shake his head game too much, which I don't think it will, because
He underestimated him. Let's be honest.
he
Yeah.
underestimated him. But I think also he just went. He just exactly he underestimated him. But I don't think he was as confident. I think he was. I don't know. I don't know. He let us all down, didn't he? But anyway, when it comes to Usyk, I think he'll be back. His head game will be back.
He has to, doesn't
Right.
he? He's going against another guy that's
If he
undefeated.
doesn't, I think in the back of his head, if he doesn't, it's sort of ruining his own reputation. And it's coming to the end of his boxing career now. So
Yeah.
does he really want to go out like that? I think he will put 110% into his training at the minute. In fact, he's gone quite quiet, hasn't he, really? He's not, making any of these stupid videos that he makes and going
Give
off to
him time.
Holland to where he
Give him
does.
time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But hopefully,
Let's not jump the gun on that
hopefully,
one.
yeah, literally. Hopefully, he's just concentrating on his training a bit more. Look, which I can't say anything. Bloody hell, he's world champ, but he is. I'm not ruling him out from that last fight. I think he was unlucky, head game. Who knows how you're going? And another thing that winds me up is when people, say about the boxers or they were crap or they did awful, what they do in their world class, they shouldn't be like that. You don't know what he's dealing with that day. Like, it probably hasn't, but you don't know. Something could have happened to his family member. Something could have happened to his child that morning, and he can't just say that. Come on the news and say that because no one cares about excuses and stuff. And he knows that. Like, nobody actually knows what went on. He could have twisted his ankle whilst walking in. Like, no one knows. He would have said it after, but I'm not making a judgment on it because I don't have a clue. And I've been there before, like where you've had a sort of tough round and you don't know what's happened that day. If he ate, oh come on, boxing's hard. Like if you don't eat at the right times, you're so weak. But you can't
Yeah.
say this because
Frankie
no
and
one
all the rest of
cares.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, there can be so many things that happen. So I'm not ruling him out. But Usyk ain't gonna do him over, I don't think.
Well,
I'm
that's
Team
it.
Fury.
Roa has spoken, everyone. That is it. She,
I said the same about Katie Taylor and what's her name?
Chantel Cameron.
Uh, yeah, Chantal Cameron. So I just slipped my mind then. Yeah, I said the same there. I said Taylor will win on points, and the prediction come
Well,
true. So
there you go, people. Put your bets in. Roa has spoken. If it's gone wrong, I'll give you her email address. You can complain to her. It's no problem at all.
hang on, I did state 5 minutes
She
ago I
won't
hardly
care.
follow boxing. Exactly, exactly.
She's
I don't
focused on
mind.
her fight. She doesn't care about anything else at the moment. So, honestly, I wish you all the best. And there's no doubt that we'll hear about you down the line and what you're doing, what you've achieved up to this point, and yeah, just how you've done it. I think you're incredible for what you've come through and
Thank
for
you.
how you view yourself going forward
Getting
as well.
goosebumps. Thank you
Oh no,
so much. It means
don't
so
don't go all
much.
soft.
I know.
Yeah, but yeah, it's true though. Credit where credit's due. People are easy to give up. They look at stuff that's happened. They can feel sorry for themselves. They can think, well, I'm never going to get over this.
Yeah.
You've got over that, and you've said, this is what I'm going to do. And hats off to you.
World champ's gonna be incoming. European title, British title. Let's get it. Let's get it. Nothing stopping me.
Remember me. Remember
I
me.
remember. Yeah, we'll come back on. Come back on after my first fight, after my fifth fight, whatever. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
keep going.
definitely. We'd love to follow your journey, and
Yeah, I
you know,
really
as I say,
appreciate it.
love to your family as well.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you, sir.
thank you very much for coming on. As I say, stay in touch, and
Yeah,
yeah, we were sponsored by
for having
Falcon
me.
Contracting and boxbets.co.uk. But Roha, thank you very much, and we will see you soon.
Lovely to meet you. Lovely to speak to you. Thank you so much, and speak to you soon.
See you later.
And
Take care.
ignore the state of me. Remember, I'm halfway through my training session.
Just check out her Instagram. Check out her Instagram.
Yeah.
See you.
Bye.
See you later.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.